All right, Celtics Nation, buckle up because we got a lot to unpack from this latest matchup, and there's plenty to analyze when it comes to how the Celtics are performing on the floor. The game started off in a way that would make any fan hold their breath. The second quarter was nothing short of a nightmare. The Celtics struggled mightily from three-point range, hitting only 1 out of 11 attempts, and it felt like every shot that went up had a story of its own: frustration, missed timing, and a lot of wondering what went wrong. By halftime, the team found itself down by 10 points, having let a crucial period slip away. You could see the tension mounting, the kind of tension that makes you question rotations, substitutions, and the flow of the offense. Then came the third quarter, and things suddenly shifted. Shots started falling with regularity, and it seemed like the team finally found its rhythm. Jaylen Brown and Derek White caught fire, Derek knocking down 3 out of 3 from 3 in that frame alone. The Celtics dominated the quarter, outscoring their opponents by 16, showing glimpses of the chemistry and offensive potential we know they possess when everything clicks. Yet, as the fourth quarter rolled in, the situation became complex once again. Anthony Simons began to take over, scoring 10 points in the quarter, hitting both 2-point and 3-point shots with impressive accuracy, making it look as if he might carry the team to a comeback. However, as quickly as the momentum shifted, Simons came out of the game, and the offensive flow began to falter. This raises questions about the substitution patterns. Is the coaching staff maximizing his impact? The Celtics had shooting troubles all around, and when key players like Peyton Pritchard struggled, perhaps leaving Simons on the floor longer could have been a strategy worth exploring. Instead, Jaylen and Derek came back in, and the rhythm broke. Jaylen hit 1 of 3, and Derek went 1 for 6, including 1 for 3 from deep. Meanwhile, on the other side, Justin Edwards caught fire, going 3 of 4 from 3 in the fourth quarter, and the one miss he had was quickly put back by Kelly Oubre. The Celtics actually did well on the boards, but in critical moments, the same mistakes kept cropping up. Jaylen Brown later admitted to ball watching on a defensive sequence that allowed an easy offensive rebound and ultimately cost the team crucial points. That acknowledgement is important because it highlights the thin margins at this level. The difference between a successful defensive stop and a breakdown can be as tiny as a fraction of a second or a misread pass. Mistakes happen, but the Celtics need to recognize them and adjust immediately. When one player tries to make a play and it fails, teammates must be ready to cover and respond, and in this instance, the defensive rotation didn't quite compensate. Beyond the defense, the offensive execution was inconsistent. The Celtics managed decent looks, but missed opportunities allowed their opponents to build momentum. Early in the second quarter, missed shots gave the opposing team a chance to run and widen the gap. Even in transition, the execution was often a step slow or just slightly off. Players hesitated, or passes were a fraction late, resulting in blocked shots or disrupted plays. This is a recurring theme for the Celtics, whether in late-game situations or during fast breaks. A slight delay can turn a potential highlight into a missed opportunity. The coaching strategy, rotation management, and offensive schemes all interact with the players' decisions on the floor, and when even one element falters, it affects the whole game. The Celtics have moments of brilliance, but consistency is key, especially in tight games where every possession matters. You could see it in the way they struggled to finish plays despite creating advantages. Jordan Walsh, for example, often found himself in transition with potential scoring opportunities, but hesitated just enough to allow the defense to recover. Garza's attempts to make quick passes were occasionally just a touch off in timing. The game is a series of micro-decisions, and in professional sports, those tiny fractions of a second, half a step too slow, a pass slightly off target, can decide the outcome. The Celtics are creating chances, but they need to convert them consistently. This season has already shown that late-game execution remains an issue. Even with talented players like Jaylen Brown and Derek White on the floor, the team has struggled to capitalize in crucial moments. Whether it's scoring efficiently in transition, recognizing the open man, or maintaining composure under pressure, the Celtics have room to improve. As of this 12-game mark, they sit at 5-7, a record that keeps them in the middle of the pack, but reflects the struggles to break out of mediocrity. Upcoming matchups present opportunities to correct course. Games against teams like Brooklyn and Memphis will test their ability to execute under pressure and string together victories to climb closer to a .500 record or better. Improvement hinges on recognition, execution, and finishing plays decisively. The offensive system, more read and react than the more structured schemes of previous seasons, requires split-second decisions, and the Celtics are still adapting to that pace. Individual performances show promise. Jordan Walsh continues to develop rapidly, and Derek White and Anthony Simons have shown they can take over stretches. The challenge is consistency, both individually and collectively, in high-pressure scenarios. The Celtics are creating advantages and open looks, but finishing remains a hurdle. This pattern of missed opportunities and late-game lapses needs to be addressed for the team to transition from a 5-7 squad to a contender capable of making a deep playoff run. Every game, every possession, and every decision counts, and refining these elements will be essential for the team to improve as the season progresses. As the season unfolds, the Celtics' ability to adapt and make adjustments in real time is going to be tested repeatedly. One of the most glaring issues remains their late-game execution. Time and again, we see them in positions to secure wins, only to falter in the closing minutes. Whether it's hesitating on a drive, misreading a rotation, or failing to recognize an open teammate, these tiny errors add up and directly impact the outcome of the game. Anthony Simons' performance in the fourth quarter of the last matchup is a perfect example. He showed he could take over and shift the momentum, scoring efficiently and giving the team life, but as soon as he was subbed out, the offense stalled. It's a delicate balance for the coaching staff, managing minutes and rotations, but it also highlights the need for players to maintain flow and composure regardless of personnel changes. Jaylen Brown's acknowledgement of ball watching during a crucial defensive sequence sheds light on the mental side of the game. Even elite players can make mistakes under pressure, and the Celtics need to find ways to minimize these lapses. Defensive awareness, anticipation, and trust in teammates are critical. When one player goes for a risky play, such as attempting a steal or leaving a man momentarily, everyone else must be ready to cover and adapt. The team has shown flashes of cohesion in these moments, but consistency is what separates good teams from great ones. On offense, the Celtics continue to create opportunities but struggle to finish them. Transition play, once a hallmark of their success, has been less efficient this season. Players like Jordan Walsh and Garza have found themselves with open lanes or advantageous positions, but haven't always converted due to hesitation or minor timing errors. In professional basketball, those half-steps, split-second delays, or slightly off-target passes are often the difference between a highlight and a missed chance. The team's read-and-react system demands rapid decision-making, and while the talent is there, the execution is not yet fully reliable under pressure. Missing shots and failing to capitalize in transition has a cascading effect. Not only does it impact the scoreboard, but it also allows opponents to regain confidence, set up defensively, and control the tempo. This interplay between execution and momentum is something the Celtics must master to climb above mediocrity and compete with elite teams. The upcoming schedule presents opportunities to address these issues. Games against teams like Brooklyn and Memphis are crucial tests. While Brooklyn may not be dominant, they will not simply roll over, and Memphis brings its own challenges with a fast-paced, physical style of play. These matchups will be telling in how the Celtics adapt, whether they can string together victories, and whether the coaching staff and players can correct the small errors that have cost them points. Individual performances continue to be a mixed bag. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Simons, and Jordan Walsh have shown they can contribute at a high level, but sustaining that level consistently is the challenge. Walsh's development has been particularly promising, taking significant steps forward and demonstrating potential to impact games both offensively and defensively. Anthony Simons' ability to take over stretches of a game could be a key factor if the team can learn to manage rotations more effectively. Peyton Pritchard's struggles in recent games highlight that even established contributors can go through rough patches, and finding a rhythm collectively will be essential. Beyond individual efforts, team chemistry and communication are paramount. Recognizing where help is coming from, identifying open teammates, and making quick, decisive passes are the foundations of efficient offensive and defensive execution. The Celtics have the talent, but translating it into consistent results requires sharper focus, better decision-making under pressure, and improved awareness on both ends of the court. Looking at the season as a whole, the Celtics' record of 5-7 after 12 games reflects the challenges they've faced, but also suggests there is room for growth. Achieving a .500 record or better is still within reach if the team can clean up execution errors, capitalize on transition opportunities, and maintain composure in late-game situations. The difference between being a mediocre team and a contender is often measured in those small details: the ability to finish plays, convert open shots, make the correct defensive rotation, and respond instantly to opponents' adjustments. Every possession matters, and as the Celtics progress through the season, refining these areas will be essential. Coaches, players, and staff must align on strategy, and players need to internalize the rhythm of the offense and defense to make the split-second decisions that win games at this level. The talent is undeniable, but execution and consistency are the keys to unlocking the team's potential. With careful adjustments, lessons learned from previous games, and attention to both individual and collective responsibilities on the court, the Celtics have the chance to turn close losses into wins and begin climbing in the standings. The journey is ongoing, and while mistakes will continue to occur, the focus has to be on improving decision-making, recognizing opportunities, and finishing plays efficiently. The season is far from over, and there is still time to transform the team's performance, string together victories, and compete at a level befitting their potential. Every game is a test of adaptability, execution, and mental toughness, and the Celtics must rise to that challenge to make a meaningful push as the season progresses. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Boston might be about to relive its golden basketball era, or at least that's what whispers across the NBA corridors suggest. The name echoing through training camps, fan forums, and locker room gossip. Urban Klavžar, the Slovenian guard barely out of his teenage years, is already being called the next Larry Bird. And according to sources close to the team, the Boston Celtics could be preparing a bold move to bring him to the Garden. The rumors started innocently enough. A photo of Klavžar wearing a vintage Celtics hoodie at a private gym in Los Angeles. Then came a cryptic post from one of Boston's assistant coaches, a simple shamrock emoji followed by the word legend. Coincidence? Maybe, but the timing has the basketball world buzzing. Klavžar's combination of shooting precision, court vision, and confidence beyond his years has scouts whispering comparisons that border on sacrilege. He plays like Bird, same swagger, same feel for the game, one anonymous scout allegedly said. It's eerie. You watch him pull up from the corner, and you could swear it's 1986 again. Insiders claim Boston's front office has been quietly monitoring the Slovenian star for months, intrigued by his rapid development overseas. While no official confirmation has surfaced, the talk of an imminent signing or trade maneuver is growing louder by the hour. One executive, when pressed for details, reportedly smirked and said, "Let's just say green looks good on him." Fans naturally are split. Some dismiss it as pure off-season fantasy, another overhyped rumor in a league built on speculation. Others are already dreaming of a new Bird in Celtic green, ready to reignite the fire of the parquet floor. Whether it's wishful thinking or the first spark of something monumental, the name Urban Klavžar has become impossible to ignore in Boston. If even a fraction of the chatter proves true, the Celtics might be about to turn back the clock, and the NBA may soon witness the rebirth of a legend. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.